Jordan Allen answering the question, when should we use violence? Why we get to decide. So basically, I would love to say that violence should be avoided at all costs, but that is impossible. You can jump onto the site betweenduck.com to find out an explanation of why I think it's impossible. But basically, other people use violence even if we choose not to. Therefore, I think violence should be minimized at all costs, which sometimes means using violence to prevent more violence. As a society, we have already made this choice. By having a police force and making things illegal, we allow for small violence in arrests and in prison, so criminals will not create more violence on innocent victims. Still, who decides what violence to use? Can 435 elected representatives and 100 senators truly represent the wishes of 303 million people? I don't think so. I don't think it's right to arrest people for using drugs, for example. They have not hurt anyone, yet we hurt them. How is that justice? I think the best way to minimize violence is to minimize government power. Governments have a history of funneling tax money into armies, which promote more violence. The U.S. government tells us they spend 20% of our income tax on defense, but in reality it's closer to 50%. China more or less exchanges weapons for oil in Sudan, exacerbating the human rights crisis. The greatest violence throughout history has only been possible by centralizing power into governmental organizations. When religions become political forces of control, they become violent. It's pretty hard to research and buy weapons of mass destruction without a ton of money, and it's pretty hard to justify spending that money without a fanatical ideology that supports it. The problem behind governments at our current state of consciousness is that people desire more and more power until the world becomes more conscious and our egos become more inclusive. Less power will lead to less violence. We need to give individuals and smaller groups greater control over their lives and their communities. In the meantime, we can use our current government to reduce violence while trying to change it. Call your representatives and tell them we want out of Iraq immediately. Tell them you're pissed that our money is funding torture and brutality. Tell them to spend it elsewhere. Or better yet, tell them to keep it and you can decide where to for you to keep it, you can decide where to spend it. You can help your own community and help fund things you personally believe in. We can also work to eliminate the violence we create in our lives by expanding our consciousness. As babies, we start out thinking only about ourselves, but as time goes on, our self becomes more inclusive. As a 5-year-old, I didn't have the mental capacity to sacrifice something of mine for someone else's benefit. It was all about me. My sister hit me with the Barbie doll. It really hurt, so I hit her back. As I grew older, I became more willing to give up personal gain to help my family. If my sister hit me at age 12, I'd probably be really confused and just cry. By including my family as an extension of myself, I would never do violence to them. The people I'm willing to make sacrifices for continues to grow as I move from egocentric to ethnocentric to world-centric and hopefully to one day cosmocentric in my sense of self and my worldview. As a result, I am less and less inclined to violence against these beings. I now only eat free-range meat because I can't stand the way animals are treated before they're killed. I'm willing to make small dietary sacrifices for the benefit of animals that I've never known and will never come in contact with. I'm willing to take a few extra seconds to recycle to prune the violence, pollution, and excess waste may cause in the future. I'm also able to see how some violence can curtail greater violence. And as I continue to grow, I'll become more conscious of how my actions cause violence to others and will be more motivated to lessen that impact. I also help to make this happen on a massive scale, to keep violence to a minimum. Thanks. Check out more